Peace and like power coming over to another episode of Blue Guns Radio. Place pronounced as born. This is your host. Now it's going live. And we got some history in the building. Okay. We got some history today. We got some serious stuff going on. This is the Black Goddess Empowerment Series, and we couldn't do it without starting it off in proper order. So we got the mothers of Henensu in the building. We got some black goddesses. We got the goddess rap up in here, about to rap to us. So if you're interested in looking to become a part of this series, we're doing this all September long. We got some message of empowerment, you got some education, you got some motivation, you got some inspiration for our sisters, and we will set it up. So without any further ado, comes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce and present to others the mothers of Henensu, my queen mothers up in here. Okay. We got Mama Gabit, Mama Meri, and Mama Amina up in here. Welcome to the show.
Peace, family. Peace. I got on Hey. So what's good, family? It's good to be here. It's good to be here with my sisters.
Y'all look like y'all did when I did that video. When y'all did that video.
Right. We said we're gonna be on our best behavior now. We're gonna try.
But only, just know I'm not aware of my
10
facial
minutes.
expression because I can't see my face. Yeah.
Yes. So, Lauren, the topic is you said 30 days, and you want to have sisters come on and speak, correct? Giving wisdom, sharing insight. Tell me,
Yes.
I wanna hear a little bit about that inspiration, if you don't mind. I'm putting you on the spot. I did.
That's okay. That's right. Regulate like you supposed to. Um, we just came out of Black August, and one of the things that was kind of like a thing was looking for ways to repair us as a family. You know, they have an adage: you teach a man, you teach a man, you teach a woman, you teach a nation. So there's time for reconciliation, there's time for healing, there's time for repair. That begins with the restoration of the African woman, from my perspective, back to her place of glory. So one of the things you can do is be an example. So the motivation came from a sister by the name of Shanice Starr. Every year she does celebration, celebrate thy brother. And there's some people that get nominated by their community, and she awards them. So it's her celebration, of the African man. And we know that community, we deal with reciprocity. So that motivation was in honor of African women to, be a force amongst all of this proposed gender war, gender bashing, fratricidal stuff that you see online. So create awareness and education for our sisters to
Well, while we're waiting on Born to come back, I think
So
it's
September
dope.
is dedicated to the African woman, and October is dedicated to the African man.
You went out a little bit, brother, but I got the gist of what you were saying. It's all love. So what I was saying is, I think it's pretty dope what you're doing. Um, Definitely, honoring women, allowing women to come on the platform to, give words of wisdom, inspiration, just to speak to the sisters, is dope in itself. So I know that one thing in particular that I wanted to definitely make sure that I say and said to sisters that are watching is definitely we talked about it on our show. Matter of fact, the last show we did is that self-care aspect. Make sure that you're feeding into yourself what you outpour to others, because a lot of times us as women, us as mothers, us as wives, we give so much of ourselves and our energy, that sometimes we neglect to give that same amount of energy to ourselves. So it is very important, super important, I can't stress that enough, to give that same energy to yourself, to do small self-care weekly regimens. I would say daily. I understand we all have busy schedules, but definitely make sure that you're doing something weekly, whether it's taking a soak in the bathtub, drinking a cup of wine, a glass of wine, going to get your nails, your toes done. Whatever it is that you find your peace in, do that for yourself. Make sure you do that for yourself weekly. I can't, like I said, can't stress that enough. Make sure that you give to yourself the same energy and loving energy that you give out to everybody else. Because without doing that for yourself, you cannot continue to be the great woman that you are for anybody, whether it's your children, your husband, your parents, whoever it is. You cannot give to them if you keep pouring out and your well runs dry. You don't want to do that. So definitely, I wanted to speak on that, and let me not run my mouth too much. Marie, you got something you want to say?
You give me permission to run
Look,
because I might go in. But I'm looking at the clock, so no, I kind of piggybacking off of what she said because that is so timely right now. Self love and that being and by extension also making sure your mental is good. I'm thinking about just the role that we play within our communities and the work that we've done historically in working to fight for our folk and elevate the condition of our people, whether it's on the you know the political horizon or in other regions. And it's like right now I think that um, we as a people have gotten a lot of attention. We got a lot of attention right now because of you know you know situation with the all over the issues with police brutality, and it's like a lot of us are on the front lines protesting and making sure our voices are heard where we can. And I think about it was something that uh, Angela Davis, I was watching one of her interviews, like a short blip, I think on YouTube, and she talked about how a lot of times we don't understand the connection between revolution and self-care. Like to go after that self-care, it is revolutionary in itself. Like in the act, you are, speaking up for yourself, asserting yourself, saying, yes, I matter, my voice matters, and my health and my well-being matters. And by extension, that of my family. And it's like, yeah, I'm just, so many ideas are coming to my head right now as I'm thinking about it, so many thoughts. Uh, One thing I will say is that part of that self-care has to include being spiritually grounded in your traditions. Yes, like that is like how we got together. That is what we do. And when I think about like the plight that we are in, economically, for instance, like the only way that I feel like we're going to get up out of that condition is not by having that strong foundation, like she said, not by not solely by looking for the white man's paycheck. Like we have to recognize that we we have to take our own lives into our hands, be a master of our own life and our economy, our nation, and start to do more for self.
That part, what you say. And I'm passing the mic. And we're gonna pass the torch on to the special guest of me.
Y'all pretty much said everything already. But just to add on to what y'all saying, yes, because I mean, you know, self care is without it, lack of it depletes you, your life force too. So for longevity in life, you know, you want to make sure that you handle those things, especially mental, you know. Um, yeah, especially on a Friday, you know, it's good to get that glass of wine, get your pedicure.
Did we just see that sign the other day?
Every queen needs a Stella Rose.
That wasn't a
shame.
And we say daily because we do
It's
have,
good as hell.
you know, in our tradition, we do have like every day is pretty much a celebration. We're doing something, you know, in honor of that day. But Friday is pretty much that day to let your hair down. Yeah. Be with the babies, you know. Yeah, just let your hair down at least one time out of the week, and that's, you know, that's the importance. Um, See, mother is 24/7. Can't it's no, you know, it's no breaking. So you have to set those boundaries, you know. But yeah, that's my little 2-3 cents though.
Yeah,
I agree, my sisters. It's very important.
It really is. Another thing that comes to mind is on the tip of self care is knowing your worth. That's another thing I can't stress enough is knowing your worth and not allowing yourself to get to the point where you're looking for validity in anyone other than yourself, making yourself feel bad because you just got out of a bad relationship, you just lost a job, the kids are acting crazy,
Right.
whatever it may be. Just understand that you are precious, you are worth more than you think you're worth. You're a good mother. You're a good wife. You're a good friend. You're a good sister. You're a good daughter. And don't allow anybody, anyone, any circumstances, anything to alter the way you feel about yourself. Because that, like I said, that is something huge that we all struggle with as women. Is just recognizing your worth, recognizing that you are worth something. You're priceless. You don't have to lower your standards by any means to get anything, whether it's money, a man, a job. Like you don't have to lower your standards to get anything. Be comfortable in your skin and recognize that you are a force to be reckoned with. So,
speak them positive affirmations to yourself every day.
Even if you got to put some positive affirmations on sticky notes and look at them daily, put them on the wall, put them on the mirror, speak positivity in your life. I think we were just speaking about this as well. Like your words are powerful, and what you speak about yourself, whether it be good or bad, can have an impact on your life. So you always want to make sure you speak positive over your life, over yourself, over your family, over your kids. Always, always, always. So I definitely wanted to make sure I stress that tip since we're talking to the sisters. I wanted to make sure I gave that inspiration out there because somebody somewhere may need it, to hear that. So I definitely wanted to say that. And again, if you're just now tuning in, you are special. You are worth something. You are valuable. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Like you are beautiful. Like look at the different shades you have right here. Like the black woman, let me tell you something, honey. Let me tell you, do you see my sisters right here? Like the black woman is beautiful. The black woman is magnificent.
We birth nations, man. We birth nations, man.
Yes, we do. Like who else can go through 9 months of carrying a child, deliver the baby, and still bounce back like that was nothing. Because let me tell you something.
It's not
That
easy.
is something, especially for the women that are pushing out, vaginally, even with the C-section. Like, no matter what it is, birthing in itself is an experience. And just for us to be able to do that, bounce back, be resilient,
Mhm.
it's amazing. So I love my sisters near and far. And I just want y'all to know that y'all are beautiful, you are valuable, you mean something, and don't let anybody tell you different.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
got something to say on that tip?
We love y'all. We love y'all. We doing this for us.
That part. We done like this even with our guest Amina, our Sinette, her being here, it speaks to that. Like it speaks once again to, sisterhood.
I'm showing my face just for
pulling your
them.
sister up to the spotlight.
Yeah, pulling
'cause-
your sister up and into the spotlight, out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
And like I said, once again, this is something that she's even doing on her behalf for us, like where she's like, okay, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna come up here because y'all asked me to just join and kick it with y'all, and that's what it's about. So
Yeah.
And
I'm
what,
here.
5-10 minutes before
literally,
Gabit was doing our makeup, like literally, like right
I
up.
say, yeah.
before
Had
the
a
show
room. Had a
started.
room
So
moment.
yes. So
all of that, pulling our resources, pulling
Yeah.
our talents, sharing what we got with one another, like
that part,
That's what
like
it's all about. And that's that beautiful. That's the beautifulness of womanhood, just and sisterhood.
yes,
Coming
being able
together.
to relate, being able to talk, being able to have our moments, and being able to, come back. Like I said, every day, no matter who you are, every day isn't going to be a great day. But you know, how you interpret it, how you deal with it is all that matters. You can turn a bad day around and have a wonderful day. It's all about how you perceive things. It's all about how you utilize your mind to view the rest of your day, to view life in general. So, yeah, I'm excited to be on here. Peace and power, Baba Amin and Hotep
Hey, Hotep.
Equaneve. I'm just now seeing that you guys had spoke to us, but peace. So, ladies, do you have something else y'all want to talk about?
speaking of, because we got the brothers in the comments right
Right.
now. I just wanted to say thank you to my Sinu, to my husband, my brothers.
Yes.
We couldn't do, what we do without you. And even, you know, um, dealing with this topic, born, he is pulling those individuals within the community that are making an impact that may not feel like, their work is attracting the attention that it does. But, like Gabit was saying, you matter. And yeah, I wanted to make sure that, I say, I love you, Uncle Nu, I love you, I love you, Ikwanib, I love you, Baba, I mean, and the countless other brothers who have come and supported us every show. All three of y'all have been in the chat, in the comments, even if nobody else is. We know y'all gonna be up there. What she said. And yeah, just thank you for encouraging us. Thank you, Born, for pulling us out of the cave.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, like she said, even though this was a show dedicated to our sisters, um, we can't go without saying thank you and showing our appreciation for the brothers that tune in. Like she said, Born for giving us his platform, for helping us out from the beginning to even where we are now, supporting us, showing us love. We love you. We love you, Baba Amin. Baba Amin, as we have mentioned before, helped us out with our logo, did a dope logo, by the way. We love it. So, things like that is big for us. I love you, my husband, for coming through all the time, making sure you comment, making sure you tune in, making sure you share. So um all of that love, it doesn't go unnoticed, and we are very appreciative.
Yep. I love my Sanui.
Warren, you got some questions up your sleeve? You got some stuff you want to ask me?
No,
I do have a few. I do have a few. Y'all mentioned it, but how? Like, I want to know how you were able to take care and take care of yourself at the same time, because this generation is creating a new norm in regards to that. The generations previous, going to the mother God that y'all did with the mothers, all the mothers assembled, sharing stories and things like that. That was not a normal for their time. So I definitely want to know, what's the care push towards balance, and how do you find that balance, and help our sisters create this new normalcy of balance again, because so much has happened over time, a lot of in the family dynamic, but then pushing back towards balance and returning to a sense of focus.
Um, I would start off saying, and piggybacking off what Marie mentioned earlier, is,
I hope y'all
for
heard it.
one, most look,
yeah, we heard you. That.
I got you, brother. I got you. Um, but piggybacking off what Marie said, being spiritually grounded, first and foremost, that is big in maintaining your balance, and without it, I really can't say where I would be, and I'm pretty sure they can say the same thing, because, in life gets chaotic. Your kids get chaotic, your husband, your parents, stuff gets chaotic. We all know this. So, you definitely want to, lean on your tradition, lean on your family, lean on your sisters, um, because it's nothing more big on my heart, means the most to me than being able to talk to my sisters about the ugly truth, things that you're dealing with, emotions that you're dealing with, and be able to um, get that positivity fed back into you, to know that when you're talking to your sister, that it's just between you and your sister. Like, that is something that is so rare these days, and that is something that is needed. And when you look at Goddess Rap, when you look at the mission, the vision, it all stemmed from that in itself, being able to have sisters that you can lean on in time of chaos, because without it, a lot of times, people are lost. They are left to pick up the pieces by themselves. They're left to feel overwhelmed, and sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. Sometimes you need somebody to vent. Sometimes you just need somebody that can relate to you as well, and that can and remind you of the greatness that you are, the greatness that you possess. Um, that's something that is so big. And like I said, once again, leaning on your tradition, for us, definitely, checking with our ancestors daily, doing that work, meditating if need be. That should be done daily, definitely, when you're talking about maintaining balance. um yeah, I think I said what I wanted to say. Let me stop. I think I said everything I wanted to say. So that's big for me. So if you just now tuning in, again, what I said is make sure you're spiritually grounded. Um have a community that you can confide in, that you can seek counsel with, and yeah, meditate. Balance yourself out. Grab you a glass of wine, like we was talking about earlier, taking that time out for yourself, because without it, once again, it's hard to maintain your balance if you're overextending yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice by doing so. And eventually you'll be doing yourself and your community a disservice as well if you're overextending yourself and not able to do anything. Because ultimately, like she was saying, you'll deplete your life force, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that by any means whatsoever. Nothing is more important than your peace and keeping your mind calm and balanced. So
Keeping your head.
keeping your head.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's covered everything. Well, speaking of like the tradition, I know within Henensu, like I said, every day, is a celebration to us, and each we understand how it's a science to it. Each Natir is governed by a particular day, so being able to be aware of that helps a lot. Like that Tuesday Herubehu that is governed by that, so things may be a little chaotic depending on who you're a child of or what's going on in your life. So uh, things like that. That's why tradition and having that strong foundation within your tradition and being well grounded is important. That's all I have to say. That.
That was a whole lot though. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's when we say spiritually grounded, like it's not just empty rhetoric. I think a lot of us today are we're we're living in an age of like information overload. So there is a lot of taking from here and pulling from there. And so it's important to approach your spirituality from a position of humility, even though you may have come across a lot of information on your internet search. Know that you are not, you know, if you're out of your league, you're out of your lane, you're out of your league. And it's about communing with, you know, finding a Baba, finding a priest, finding a mama, a priestess, um, somebody who can, you know, provide those insights and somebody to kind of help you stay accountable. No different than a life coach or a
Mm-hmm.
therapist,
Right.
psychiatrist. Um, and you got to get militant about it. Like you spoke on, you know, the new normal, where people are, where mothers, women are speaking up and sharing their experiences, um, and helping one another grow. Like we are becoming more aware of our voice and our power, and also there's a new normal of working your ass to the bone. Like we got is DoorDash and Lyft out here and all these freelance type jobs that people are taking on in addition to they 9 to 5, because a lot of times they can't afford day to day living. You got your rent due and food and the shorties, and it's like we are and not sleeping. A lot of us are just tired and overworked, and out of that place, I think a lot of us are expressing our frustrations, um, which is kind of resulting in us being a lot more vocal. Um, but you gotta also take the time out to rest.
That is important.
To rest. Mama over here. Y'all see this face? She reminded me how important a daily nap is. And when I say get militant about it, I mean cut the phone off. The shorties might be screaming in the other room. Just close the door.
Mm-hmm.
They can stay in there. They ain't gonna die. Feed them before you go to sleep.
Yep, that part.
Take you a nap, because you need the time to reset. They need the time to recharge, especially because it's just like so much coming at us on a daily.
Mm-hmm.
You need that time to reset, to dream, check in with your folk, your ancestors via
Yep.
your dream, and then come back recharged to your work, whatever that may be.
Whether it's your babies, and like she said, with us, we got the babies, we the teachers, so getting that rest is important because without it, what you gonna do?
Yes. Especially with telework going on right now. Like, I think a lot of employers make the assumption that, because you're working at home or you're working from home, you ain't doing shit. Yeah. But no, you can't. It's difficult to clock. It is draining. It's difficult to clock out. When you at home and you got to pencil in some lunchtime, like that's a problem. And yeah, gotta have that time.
Focus is not on you. You still taking care of other people
in your home. That encroaching into your home like that. That's why it's important for us to get creative now. I think a lot of us are experiencing some dissatisfaction with, our place of work now. Our place of work for a lot of us is at home now. And we having to juggle, the child care and the instruction because of the COVID. And it's like, you have to take that time to reset. And if you in a job where you feel like you can't take that time out, you might want to rethink it. Check in with this and check in with this, and start figuring out how to capitalize on those dreams that you pushed aside. Because now, the stage is ours. The world is our oyster, and you got to reclaim your dreams, reclaim your traditions. We got this time on our hands, getting them books that been on your bookshelf for forever that you didn't get to read, and just start studying yourself and rediscovering, those elements. If you feel like, well, I'm tired of this dead end job, but I don't know what else to do. Get into yourself and see, start taking inventory of what you're good at and what brings you joy. That's the most important part. Do what brings you joy.
No.
But for real though,
I just recently got into the creativity.
With that later.
Yeah. Later. That's for another time. It's a surprise.
Now I got a question about healing from experiences. Sort of a message to our sisters. There are things that y'all go through that we have no clue about, even in them situations, that arise. Y'all find a way to protect the people that you or did wrong by you. So, the ages. As early as infants, things happen, So talk to our sisters about how to heal from trauma and drama.
Well, I think that's another thing we spoke about on the last show that we just did. And the first thing I would start off with by saying is Hetepu Sin area. Hetepu. You have to start off with actually recognizing it. Recognizing the root cause of whatever it may be, your frustration, why you're feeling a certain way. Without recognizing the root of what's causing these emotions, you cannot heal. Like, that's the first step to healing. Like, it's super easy, but it's also super hard at the same time. Like, because but in order to actually start the healing process, you have to actually identify the root cause. After identifying the root cause, you have to then decide, how you're going to heal from it. For example, you have some women that may have been in abusive relationships, um, and they have a cycle of getting into different relationships with similar men. And in order to stop that cycle, you have to identify where it started. It could have been some daddy issues. It could have been you might have been molested at a young age. Whatever it is, you have to identify it. Then you have to recognize that that situation does not discount who you are as a person. It does not take away any value that you have or possess. You are great. And then you have to also figure out how you're going to heal, whether it's by talking to someone. We talked about that as well. It's a taboo within the Black community to seek counsel, to seek a therapist, for layman's term. And that is so disheartening, because that's the number one issue, and that's why so many of us, whether it's men or women, we have an issue with healing, because we don't know how to speak. We don't know how to communicate our emotions. Who told you that it was wrong to communicate your emotions? Whether you're a male or a female, we all have them. Of course, females to a higher degree, but we all have emotions, and we all have things that we have to heal from. And in order to heal from it, sometimes you have to speak to somebody, because sometimes you may know that you're dealing with something, but you may not know how to navigate out of it. You may not know the steps to take to actually heal yourself. And sometimes talking to a therapist, sometimes talking to a sister, sometimes talking to, like she said, a baba, or your priest. Sometimes you can seek, that therapeutic recipe that you need to heal yourself. Um,
Honestly.
yeah, and like she said, honesty and being honest with yourself is the biggest thing within the whole process as well. Um, so I can't stress that enough, that you have to be able to identify um where that's stemming from, what's causing it, and take a plan of action to heal yourself. It may not happen overnight. Most times it's not going to happen overnight. It's a constant effort. It's a constant push yourself to become better, to heal from what has you feeling like you're broken. um Sisters, y'all can feel free to pick up anytime. I'm just ranting right now. So
That's pretty much it. That honesty, accountability with yourself.
yes.
Depending on you know, the root and the problem is it's harder for you to be honest with yourself, because certain situations. But that's when, like you said, you need to not feel afraid to reach out and ask for that help. People that you're
Yes.
close around, that you can trust.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much all in a nutshell. Gotta,
With that part.
yeah,
So
accountability and honesty, and getting to the root, and reaching out for help, being vulnerable when you need it.
that part.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say that
Oh
again.
yeah,
I couldn't
because that
remember
was one
what
of
you
my
said
problems. I had
that
to
caused
learn
the thought
to be
pop up in
vulnerable.
my
I
head.
had to learn that one.
But being vulnerable does not make you less than.
Right, don't make you
That
weak.
that's another thing that we have an issue
I
with,
thought
and
I
that's
was a
why we
little
can't
weak, man.
heal, because we're afraid of being vulnerable.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Everything that you're dealing with, somebody else somewhere, someplace is
It's going
dealing
through
with
the
the
same
same
thing.
thing. Nobody is absent of any issues. No one is absent of any issues. So not being afraid to talk, like she said, being vulnerable. You have to be, like, especially if you want to heal, like you cannot hold that stuff inside, no matter how long you may try to. It's going to come out in some form or fashion, whether it's in your health, whether you're losing jobs because you don't know how to control your anger or your temper because you're holding so much inside. It's going to come out. So make sure that you find somebody that you feel that you can trust. And I ain't saying go out here and talk to any and everybody,
Right.
but definitely find you a circle, find you um a select few that you feel that you can trust and confide, whatever it is that you may be dealing with. You know, you gotta be able to express yourself. You gotta be able to talk about it. Whatever it is that you're going through, like talk about it, seek counsel, take a plan of action to make things better for yourself and for your situation.
Add on? No. That's perfect.
I had a question, like a second part. Ancestrally, do you notice a difference, in this process working on yourself as practitioners and then working with other people as well, with their issues? Do you find, some semblance of, a shared journey in that regard when you're looking at healing from trauma? Because you're not only healing yourself. If you look at your bloodline, you know, millions of ancestors that divine feminine get a chance to heal, that are working, and receiving their healing through your healing. So I just wanted to kind of take it a step further, um, and ask y'all perspective from that perspective.
Curses. Speaking on that.
The first thing that came to mind when you spoke about the ancestors is understanding that it is a journey that is make sure I want to use the right word. It's intertwined within your own personal journey. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So it's intertwined. So when you talk about healing yourself, when you talk about also doing the work of healing your ancestors, that is the journey as a practitioner, as a priestess. It's not singular, like, oh, that's this, that's like, it's all combined in my healing. Healing my ancestors is also healing myself. So cleaning up my bloodline is also cleaning up myself, because as we also say within our tradition, the babies are the ancestors' return. We were also the ancestors' return. So even when you look at that, like when you talk about healing your bloodline, you're healing yourself, because certain things that were bad and certain qualities and certain traits that they may have had to heal from or needed to heal from, you may deal with some of that similar energy, that similar traits. And while you're healing yourself, you're also healing your bloodline, because some things may come out that you may learn, whatever it may be. It may be you may catch a glimpse of something that speaks to you, and it speaks to work that needs to be done. That happens often. Um, Recognizing some of the negative traits within inside you, because you are a reflection of your ancestors as well. So by you fixing those things within inside you, you're also fixing those things within inside your bloodline. You're making yourself pure, in a sense, um, so that the generations to come after you have something to follow off of, to have an example to be led by. Because like all of us sitting here, we didn't have, our parents aren't in the tradition, and we didn't have that example of seeing somebody talk about cleaning up their bloodline, to talk about the negative traits that may have been passed down from generation to generation. And once again, the same way with that, even with your ancestors, with your bloodline, the first step into healing and correcting that is to first acknowledge it, first to talk about it, um, understand, where that came from and why that is a thing, and also heal from it. Take a course of action. I know for me personally, I have, my sisters, I have my Nasu, my husband, who I can talk to, confide in, and discuss certain things, and certain things that I need to work on, or okay, this person may have had this, down the line in my lineage, and these are things that has to be corrected. So while I am correcting it, it is still a part of my journey. So it's still a part of my healing. So that's why I say it's not singular. It's all intertwined in your own personal healing journey as well. Maria.
Go ahead. We are of our ancestors. Like we are vessels for them. So of course, that it's intertwined. It's one. That's all I have to say.
Well, all right then. Yeah, I think that kind of, that was a good question. A lot of thoughts was coming to my head. I'll say that a really good book to get insight into, because it has practical exercises where you can explore your bloodline, it's called The Astrology of Family Dynamics. And within that text, it has you, one of the exercises that, are in there, you kind of draft up your, your astro chart. And there are, places online where you can do it for free. And then you generate, your parents and take it as far back as you can, but you'll start to notice certain patterns, certain trends that, environment and learning aside, and like talking about environmental cues, there are genetic memories that are passed on. And, so it's just about kind of digging in to your story and pulling that out. And, as she was talking, I'm also thinking about how, talking about that healing and whatnot and the work of a practitioner. I had a conversation with my husband earlier in the week that, was, it was deep as I started thinking about it, but, he had told me how, in his mind, there are only two religions in the world. One being that of individuals who take responsibility for themselves, and the other being that of individuals who don't take responsibility for themselves. They're, they'd rather place their life in the hands of, an aloof miracle God. And, the work of a practitioner, when we say work, it is work. You are a agriculturalist, you're a farmer, a husband in the ancient sense of the word, getting in and, digging into your shit and uprooting those weeds and planting in new behaviors for it to continue on into your, in your seed, your children. And I think about our people collectively, and the us being programmed to almost be workaholics, but also that how do I put it? Nothing within our outlook is separate from that creator, that force. And it's like when you recognize that and you start to do reflection and self-critiquing things that come up in your interactions, and I'll say that I'm all over the place, but I will say that it's the probably the fastest path to initiation is to get married. And within that context, you see how shit has a direct effect on those around you. And when you
Right.
elevate, you give space for everybody else to kind of come up with you.
Right.
So yeah, it's about going in and like a uh, you know, therapist, going in and reworking, reprogramming those thought patterns that are working against you, the behaviors that, you know, and, you know, negative self-talk that you've programmed yourself with. It's about going in, pulling them out, looking at them, and then putting in um, the correct information. And
Yeah. Look,
that's it.
Hotep to my beautiful daughter Bree. I see she's watching. Um, and speaking about daughters, you know, once again, this was a show dedicated to giving words of wisdom, advice, inspiration to sisters, and you know, we talk about the self care again aspect. You have to, you know, be the embodiment of what you want to see in your daughters, what you want to see in your children. Because if you're anything less than, then what, you know, what example are you setting? Um,
That's big too, because we
yeah,
have like all girls
yes,
and
all girls.
nothing
We
but
got
girls.
a couple boys,
Couple
but
boys, but mostly girls.
the girls taking over. So like you definitely you definitely you know, you definitely wanna be that good example for your babies. Like you have to. That's why it's important to heal from certain things that you need to heal from. Talk to whoever you need to talk to, because them babies are watching you, even when you are at your lowest and when you're at your highest. So they see, although they may not be able to interpret it, understand it, they see. So even talking to your children, allowing them to understand that we are all full of various emotions and being comfortable in those emotions, understanding why you feel that way, and understanding how to heal yourself. Because that is something that you have to teach the shorties, like damn near every day, right? Like, I mean, they might get into something, they might be upset about something, and you have to remind them, okay, that ain't how you respond, and this is how you respond. So you want to be the embodiment of what you want your children to be, what you want them to be when they grow up. So, yeah, yes. So,
being one that has a son. But
look, being one that has a son, right?
crazy. That'll
Yes. I mean, even for the ones that have you know, sons, you want to be the woman that you want to see with your son. You want to be the woman that your son wants to aspire to be with, like, because you don't want your son out here wanting to be with some woman that's gonna bring him down, that ain't gonna be able to build him up to uplift him in his time of need, to be his support. So it works for both. Even if you have, you know, sons or daughters, you still want to be the embodiment of what you want them to aspire for or aspire to be.
to you.
Yes. So
Hope that answers his question pretty
yeah,
good.
look, that part. So we are appreciative of being here. We are appreciative to Born for allowing us to come on the platform once again and grace y'all with our presence. You know, grace y'all with our words of wisdom, inspiration. I'll leave off saying this once again. If you're watching, no matter who you are something, you mean something to someone or a lot of people, and you are valuable. You are worth more than you realize. So take that, sit back and let it marinate with you, and reflect on that.
Write them positive affirmations everywhere. Mirror, wall.
And she said,
What she said. Oh yeah, that part. Make sure put you some sticky notes up with some positive affirmations. I am beautiful. I am the next millionaire. I am.
What follows after that, I am, is very important.
Yes. Yes.
Very important.
You are great. and don't think that you are anything less than. Born, I see you back.
I've been listening the whole time. My connection be struggling no matter where I go, so I gotta be absent sometime in order for it to work out like it's supposed to. Last question I'm gonna ask, and then
Okay,
we're gonna wrap. But I know y'all, you can only hold them children back for so long. Okay,
that
then
part.
there's gonna be revolution. Um, for your tribe, Henensu, how has Henensu helped you, as a sister, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a niece, as a cousin? You know, how has Henensu helped you? No, I got to throw a commercial up in there. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole organization, got people watching and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Got to sell it. Sell it.
That's you
Just a
said
shameless
go to
plug. Just a shameless plug.
um
You want to speak first? Go
it's
ahead. I've been speaking first.
but
Let me shut up.
it helped me like we were speaking earlier, just setting that strong foundation, that awareness of, the time that we're in. I know for me personally, coming in, you know, I needed that, the awareness, you know, and yeah, that's how Henensu helped me overall. Just that foundation. It's actually my first, spiritual structure, and I'm not looking for nothing else. I'm pretty happy and humbled to be a part of Henensu. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna let the QM speak last, since it's her and her husband's organization that they started. Um, but for me personally, it's been everything that I've needed and some. For those of you that don't know, me and my husband, we were married in the tradition. We were married underneath her husband, and um, like she said, if you don't know, the fastest way to get into that initiation process is to get married. So just the journey, the trials, the struggles that I've been through, as a mother, as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter, leaning firm on my tradition has been big. Just understanding that, with the time and energy you put into your ancestors, they got your back regardless. So being comfortable in knowing that is something that is stressed a lot. Also, what is big and that a lot of people don't actually have is being able to take accountability for your own actions. Your own actions. Like, it ain't nowhere it's like, oh, I'm just gonna vent and say how I feel and I'm just remiss from any responsibility. No, like being able to take responsibility for your actions. If you've done something wrong, being able to man up, woman up, and take that and grow from it and learn how to not repeat those cycles. And if you do, just understand that it's still a cycle that you're gonna have to learn, and eventually overcome. So I know for me, it's been a journey of overcoming constant things that you might not even be aware of that's an issue for you. And yeah, that's been big, and I can't say I would have had it without my community, without Henensu. Like, we are every word. I mean, every bit of the word family. We are that, with no blood ties. We are family. Like that part right there is so big. Like when I say and stress, when I talked about our sisterhood, when I talked about that, like when you talk about our community, we are a family. We are family oriented. We just had our brother and sister here with us as well. They came up to kick it with us for about a day, and a couple of hours, So, that's what it's about. Being able to, lean on your community, being able to Learn more about yourself, more about your ancestors, know more about your tradition, and actually be able to apply that real time, real life, be able to heal from certain things. Like I said, once again, being able to take accountability for your own actions, understanding that it is no one's fault but who your own. So that's been big. And like I said, I my my community, Henensu, it's been a journey, but it's been a beautiful journey for all of us through all the ups and downs. We're still standing strong. We ain't going nowhere. Like I said, these are my sisters. This is my family, and this is what it's about.
That part, that family part, I don't know if y'all caught that, but no blood ties, but to feel that connected to one another is big. I think that you know uh, you know I'll give one concrete example. I'll give a couple. Um, you know, Mama over here, you know, opened up her home for my family to come in um, when we needed, time to reset and recharge with all the chaos that um, you know was going on uh, personally, and there's numerous other examples. Like when I think about our the tradition that grounds us, and looking at um, really, if you go to Henensu.com, you'll see what we're all about. Is in a part of our worldview that there is no other religion except for family. When you look at the Abrahamic traditions, and you open up that book and you start seeing how they run down their lineage, the first couple of pages, and within first chapter, within a lot of those, talk about the process of creation, and that creator father who gives birth to a son and a daughter, and they just expand from there. Like that is what we're all about. That's what Henensu is all about.
Yes.
I think about how when it got started, Aunt Benu and myself, we had been in other uh, organizations, and then when we made the decision to uh, separate ourselves, no bad blood, it was doing it solely from a place of offering ourselves to our community. It was about um, building, nation building, um, and community development, personal and economic development. Um, and so it was one of those things where coming into it, because Entrepreneur has been in it a lot longer than I have, in terms of his political education. Um, Coming into it, I learned a lot from being by his side. Um, but when I really started owning the experience for myself was when my sisters came into the mix, because they endowed me, they invested me with a appreciation and respect more than I had for myself. And that's big, being a stay-at-home mother, being, you know, that caregiver. A lot of times I'm in the house most of the time. And, if you're like that, you don't always have that sounding board. You watching cartoons 24/7 during the summer. When the school year is in session, you got schoolwork just like they got schoolwork. So it's important to have like that adult conversation, because sometimes like all you hear is just like the SpongeBob and squirrely voices and stuff, and it's like, that's big. Being able to formulate ideas for yourself and through interacting with your family through conversations, being able to uh, work together on projects, like having that support, that's huge. Um, I can't say, even for like just my interactions with family outside of my, my spiritual family, um, I found that it has enhanced those experiences because I've not always, I ain't never been a hothead, but I will say that, it's very easy when you don't have that um, spiritual cultivation to, uh, you know when to be quiet and take that, that them hard ones to the chest. Uh, it used to be very easy for me to get in my feelings, and through my interactions I've started to learn more about myself and see sensitivity as an asset and to know how to reel it in. Um, also divination has been a big part of that, knowing, having the ability to use a tool that is objective to examine, you know, my certain situations that are challenging, whether, I get in a dispute with somebody or, um, you know, I'm trying to figure out uh, how to, tackle this health issue or that health issue. Divination has been a big part of that. And, my team has given me the ability to, you know, support that, support me in my projects, my missions, my aspirations, my goals, and also serving as those checks and balances to hold me accountable and, you know, to offer hands on when I need assistance. So, yeah, it's just, I can go on and on with that, but I'm going to put a pin in it. And,
for the next show.
For the next show, revisit
For
the
the
next
next show. Born, you done hiding in the background.
Right.
Come on, show your
Come,
face.
come to the light.
Show your face. Where you at?
There you go.
All right, as we back, final thoughts. Shout get that. Another commercial. Yeah, another commercial out here. God is rap. Uh, what y'all got coming up every day?
Yeah, as we spoke um, on our last show, we have some segments coming up. We have an entrepreneurial segment with some young entrepreneurs, um, with some adult entrepreneurs as well. That's actually family. So,
shedding the spotlight on, you know, some lesser known cases of police brutality, because they deserve
that
all the
part,
attention.
that
Um,
part. So yeah, like she said, that is a big topic. Police brutality, even within our communities, because like she said, that's another segment that'll be coming up sometime in the near future. Don't have a date yet, but we definitely do have a part two as well coming up. Um, to talk with the family again of Joshua Ruffin. So um,
Getting a little bit more personal into
get
the behind the scenes look
yes,
at our
yes,
lives.
yes,
Um,
that part.
yeah, like if you're watching this and you just, started tuning in within the last, I'll say half hour, um, this month with the work that, Born is doing, um, Goddess Rap, that platform is a continuation of, this work,
Mhm.
in that we all about us. We all about,
Yes, yes,
you know,
yes.
um, having those conversations that are relevant to our lives as Black women, um, and sharing those jewels where we can, lifting up, each other, and that platform is as much y'all's as it is ours.
Mhm.
It's our offering to our
Our
community.
community, yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, Goddess Rap
Kind
is
of like a story.
everything that is everything because it comes from a genuine place. It comes from once again a family ties, sisterhood. So when you look at Goddess Rap, you look at something that was put together out of the purest, sincerest thought that has manifested into what you see today. That has manifested in Marie and I coming and putting our time and energy. Although we both equally have our own busy schedules, but being able to give that thought and consideration to bring countless wonderful content to you all because all the while people can be out here twerking doing all X Y and Z, that's easy stuff, but being able to bring meaningful content, one that is going to last even when we are no longer here, that people can look and reflect on and be able to get you know uh that insight, it's one that is rare. So we definitely do this out of love for our people, and for our sisters. So once again, that's what it's all about. Also, which you can stay in tune a little, commercial for. I got to keep putting this out into the atmosphere. You got to look for that Women's Healing Retreat 2021. I'm saying it. I'm claiming it. We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna make that a reality. Because once again, Born, you had asked the question about healing. Like those are the things that's needed. Um, because you talk about women and you talk about sisters, we are the backbone of the community. Although we may not be the ones that are implemented on the front lines, our men wouldn't be able to be implemented on the front lines if it wasn't for us being able to be there, being able to support them, by being able to hold it down in the house, by being able to hold the babies down, by being able to be that good example for the children, being that support that he needs, being his nurse, his confidant, his everything. Um, it's so important. So we as women have to take that time. We have to take that time for ourselves. We have to heal. We have to reflect, let loose, have fun. Connect with one another. Heal and talk, and come back feeling rejuvenated to keep on continuing what your mission is, and that is to be that good embodiment for your family, to be that support that your family needs. So, and being that support that you need for yourself as well. So, hey, I can't stress it enough. I love my sisters. I love y'all. Born,
Because my leg is sweating and I want all kinds of sweat on you.
Look, I thought that was me.
Look,
That's me.
My bad.
y'all got excuses. We having a little moment over here. I'm laughing at them, but I want to thank you more for having us on your show. When I think I saw it late at night, matter of fact, and saw what you were. I took time to read what you were trying to do, and I said yes. We definitely had to come on and be a part of this movement that you're doing. I think it's wonderful. I think it's needed. And I'm looking forward to hearing other sisters talk, hearing what they have to say, as well as I'm looking forward to next month and looking forward to what The brothers got to say to the brothers, because man, that's something big as well. Like, we may talk all the time about, what we need as sisters, but hell, the brothers need it just as well. They need to be able to have somebody that they can talk to, have somebody that they can actually, be inspired by, or have some, some inspiration from. So I'm looking forward to see what you have in the works, Born.
To you.
Come back to the light.
Get us the news.
Yes. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to tune in and check out the wonderful content that you will be delivering as well.
We're here.
There he go.
Well, I love y'all, and I got my sword out always when it comes to my family.
Better know it.
Great opportunity to set this all right and in the proper order with the mother goddesses. Great examples, shining examples of ideal African mothers, sisters, cousins, nieces, daughters. So amazing opportunity. And this is for the brothers and the sisters. I need 30 brothers and speaking and doing our sisters. Let's reshape and regain and reclaim our narrative in regards to our position for our families and how important our families are, how important our women are. Indeed. So I thank y'all. And we out of here. Okay. It's a wrap. It's a goddess rap.
In that part, it's the goddess rap. I like that. Hey.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.